Hey guys, Liza Hudson from ConversionWise here, and welcome to another free landing page audit session. So as always, before I jump into your pages, I have just a couple of announcements. If you're currently watching this on YouTube and you're new here, firstly, thank you for joining us. And if you are not a member of our Facebook community, Conversion Rate Community, then please, underneath this video, you will find a link. You can simply click there and ask to join. This is a completely free group. In here, you're going to find loads of useful tips and tricks, just a really great community to be in. And also, this is where you'll need to be if you want to see one of your pages in these videos. In fact, we've even got a post at the moment, so you can currently submit your links if you'd like to get one of your pages audited by ourselves. And guys, if you are currently watching us from the community and you haven't subscribed to our channel, please click the subscribe button and don't forget to click the notification bell. Then every time we drop fresh content, you will be the first to know. So again, for those of you that haven't been here before, what I'm about to do is look at 3 pages that I've chosen at random from the pages within our group. And what I'm going to do is walk through each page, and I'm going to go through and give some very actionable feedback. Now, it can come across quite brutal sometimes, but honestly, if you take away some of these points today and apply them to your pages, you will see an uplift in conversion. So I always get really excited when we're doing these, because honestly, the results that we get, and you'll see them in the group, are absolutely insane. So let's look at the pages. Now, what I have got with me as well are my 2 trusty tools. This is tools.pingdom.com. This is a free speed tester. So it's just going to give us a rough idea of the speed of the pages, because guys, we all know that page speed is such a critical factor when it comes to conversion. And I also have with me builtwith.com. This is just going to show me what you guys are using to create your pages. So whether you're on Sticky or Shopify or WordPress or, I don't know, ClickFunnels, whatever it might be, this is just going to let me know what you guys are actually using to create your pages. So let's start with the first page. Clearly it is a cat toy and it is a product page. And again, for those of you that haven't been here at ConversionWise, we've been creating pages for the last 9+ years, and we work to lots of conversion principles. Now, one of the main ones that we are always talking about, and we want you to apply to every single page, is the AIDA principle. Now, what that means is above the fold here. So before we scroll any further, you're going to capture your consumer's attention. As you go through the page, you're going to pique their interest with your engaging content. You're then going to create real desire with case studies, testimonials, and end on an action. So that's the A, the I, the D, and the A. Now that applies to every single page, guys. So please, at the very least, make sure your pages are ordered in that way. So here we've got 1.99. I'm guessing this is a Shopify store. Let's have a quick peek. Yeah. So Shopify store 1.99 is not horrendous for a Shopify store. They can be quite slow to load. But there will always be areas where you can optimize this. You can send this to your developer, and just make sure that no matter what, even if you do nothing else, if you don't strip back apps, do things like compress every single one of your images. We've done case studies with this. It's insane the results that you get. So let's look at the page itself. Now, guys, I'm doing desktop version, but I just want to make it clear that whether you are on desktop or mobile, yes, you might condense your content slightly, but the points that I'm going to pull out absolutely apply to both. Okay, so it's just easier kind of display it here on the actual page itself on the desktop. So I'm going to run through on this one for now. So essentially, like I said, we are looking for that AIDA principle. So above the fold, you're catching my attention, and this is clearly a product page. Now, if you have a hero product, what we would actually recommend is that you create a dedicated landing page. And this is a standalone page. It sits on a subdomain. And the reason we say that is because then you don't have all of these kind of like traffic leaks, distractions. It's all about that product. However, we do know that a lot of people drive to product pages, and they absolutely can be optimized. Now, this is quite a nice one, I have to say. There's some really good stuff going on here. Clearly, there's a slight problem here in the way that that's the banner's kind of rendering over the free shipping. So that's something to look at. Funnily enough, we'd recommend that you left align this logo, just because what happens when you've got it centralized, it starts to look a little bit busy. So kind of go with the more traditional left align on there. You've got cat scratch ball toy, which is an absolute description. I know with SEO, you need to have your descriptive words in there, but you can absolutely also sort of imply some kind of emotion in there about the fact that, you know, the cats are going to love it. I'm really not a copy person, but emotive headlines are very, very good indeed, and especially like benefits-led one. Love the fact that you've got 4.7. Funnily enough, we found that that converts higher than having 5 stars, which is a shame, because if you've got 5 stars for everything, you'd think that would be amazing, right? But it seems people find it to be more authentic and more believable. Really nice that you've got a review here. Again, like I'd consider putting an image with this. I think with the stars, it just looks a little bit much. So maybe get an image to go with your review there, and that would be awesome. Love the fact that you are trying to create scarcity with the in-stock icon. That's a very, very subtle way of doing it, and it's certainly a way that we would recommend. You've got only 6 left. What you could do is go a step further, and you could have over here, for example, you know, that you've got like 13 people viewing this right now. So again, it just heightens that level of like making people need to take action. I like the way you're displaying the percentage saving. Consider getting the actual monetary value there, just because a lot of people don't necessarily want to work it out for themselves. And seeing that monetary saving is always makes it super simple for your consumer. I love the fact that you've got these trust icons here, these payment icons here. Personally, I'd probably make them slightly smaller because it's larger than the actual call to action. You want it to sit nice and snug underneath. The call to action does stand out from the page. We always recommend you have a contrasting color, so that's fine. The buy now is very, very faint. This white on this blue is very, very difficult to read. You might want to think about boldening that up and get yourself an emoji on there as well. So emojis on calls to action, where appropriate, can increase your click-through rate by up to 40%. I am not kidding. It is amazing. Here we've got some little bullet points, and what you've got here is money back, worldwide, and customer service. These are essentially some little features. They are also kind of trust factors. What I would recommend here is that you actually switch this around, because you've got all your kind of trust icons here, and I would bring your little bit of content up here and just bullet point it out into 3 lovely little bullet points. You know, the fact that you're not going to sacrifice your furniture, they're going to have fun, all that good stuff. Get that above the fold here rather than these little features here. But overall, really nice to see you've got the key components. You've got headline, imagery, social proof, call to action, and trust proof, which is what we're looking for. Now, as we go down, obviously we've got this scroll, typical kind of product page layout. What makes it worth a try? Sorry, guys, I read as I go. Attract them. Okay. Yeah, that's nice content in terms of, you know, you are getting it across. You could use some kind of imagery alongside this to go in it to kind of break up so much text. But I like the way you've presented it. It's in bite-sized pieces, and I think a bit of text is quite nice. Typical little drop down. I love the icons here, really nice. And again, so you definitely do not need this up here, because you are reiterating this here. So there's no point duplicating content for the sake of it. We see this very often. People just use the same, and it elongates the page unnecessarily. And also you just don't need it, but really nice use of icons, you know, text to icon ratio, absolutely spot on. So that's really nice. And then we go down into a social proof session. Oh, okay, cool. So I love the fact you've got a sticky CTA. What I would recommend is that you potentially add in a couple of sections if possible, and also a call to action. So very, very typically on product pages, the only call to action is above the fold or on mobile on that sticky. But even so, we still recommend that you repeat calls to action as you go down the page, just to remind consumers that there is actually an action that they're here to take, and back them up with your supporting buffers. So like you did here, you could do it with your payment icons, or you could add your star rating under there as well. With your review section, I like the fact that you've given us a headline. Love that these are very authentic looking images. I think you've done a great job there. Obviously, it'd be nice to get that tidier and get some more in there, but really nice job. What you should have here is your FAQ section. Now, I know you've got it in your banner here, but really, in any e-commerce store, typically they're going to be the same sorts of questions. So get your top 5 questions at least out onto the page itself. Now, the reason for that is because if we are scrolling to the bottom of the page, we are looking for something. We're looking for the answer to something. Something hasn't been addressed and we're still searching. So address that on the page. Don't make them click away. Don't forget, in many cases, you are paying for people to come here. You do not want them to leave this page without actually getting the answer to their questions. You want them to purchase. So by addressing that, you're more likely to increase your conversion rate. And then afterwards, so you should be ending this page with a repeat call to action. Now, whether you want to push people further into your store or to purchase the product, always end on a nice repeat call to action. Don't leave us so that we have to kind of scroll back or go somewhere else, all that kind of thing. So really, really nice page. You've got some really lovely elements. It would be nice if you could kind of get this content out, like you've utilized this space really well. You could have this in a nice section yourself, but overall, really nice and hitting a lot of really good points here. Now, what's this? Viva Gun. Okay. Guys, we don't do these videos to sell under any circumstances. However, if you would like our help with anything, then you can literally book a call. There's a link underneath this video, or you can just hit me up on Messenger. And even if you just got a question about the audits or, just want to kind of touch base, please feel free to reach out in any way you see fit. And also, don't forget to join our Facebook group. So let's have a look what we've got here. This is another Shopify store. Shopify is just so popular. I mean, it is so incredibly user-friendly, and this is gem pages. So again, that's another quite typical one. And let's have a little look at the speed results. Okay. So before you even consider looking at design elements, I would 100% recommend that you have a look at your speed. Your load time is it will be crushing your conversion rate. So for every 1 second you decrease this load speed, you can increase your conversion rate by 3 to 10%, something like that. So first things first for you is definitely get this in with your developer, find out what's going on, and decrease your load time, because it's literally going to be crushing your conversion rate. Now, it might be that you've got lots of remnants of old apps in there. It could be, that your images are too much. I mean, let's have a look. What have you actually got going on? So, yeah, I mean, it could have a lot to do with these images. I would definitely investigate that as soon as possible. So this is a homepage. And what I've done is translated it. I did translate it as I opened it up. So I won't go too much on copy because ultimately it might not translate as well. But essentially, this looks like it is a homepage. It is for a massage gun by the looks of it. And again, massage gun. When we come to homepages, the ADA principle still absolutely applies. Everything applies the same. You still want to capture your consumer's attention. You still want to have that social proof, that trust proof, all that good stuff going on. But ultimately, it has a slightly different purpose from your product page. So it's more about a window into your store. And the whole point is to push them further into your funnel to take the action you want them to take. So what I would say here is it's not overly clear from the imagery what it is. The imagery is too dark. I think you could do some sharper imagery, which shows the product off a little bit more and would make it more evident as to what it is. I think the opacity is just too thick here. So consider getting this lightened up for sure. Now, what we do want to see here is a very clear call to action. This is not strong enough, guys. You want to have a nice hard one. And also the fact that it disappears every couple of seconds is actually not great. You want to have that call to action fixed in place. And also you need to get some social proof on here. Now, we do not expect, like, you've got social proof here, which is amazing, but I'd recommend you move that down. I would get yourself your star rating with your headline, have a really strong colored call to action, which stands out. You can go emoji, you can go without emoji. And if you've got any kind of like little free shipping or anything like that, make sure you get that nice and high on your hero section to kind of show people that you've got that trust going on. I do love your reviews. I think they're absolutely fantastic. Like, you've got some very good images here. They all look very authentic, which is great. The page itself is a little bit buggy. I think you guys just need to check out what's going on your back end. And what do? We go down into some content. So you've got all these great seals. You've got some trust stuff going on here, which is great. I won't go too deep into copy because English isn't its kind of native language. But again, wherever you have headlines, think about making them emotive. Think about the benefit of a massage gun. Well, it's going to be that stress relief, pain relief, feel good factors. So try and incorporate the benefits wherever you can, especially within your headlines, guys, because it just really grabs the consumer's interest. This is interesting because this is a very, very good form of trust. Yet this section, I would relocate entirely. So this section is where should go here, where your kind of social proof is. So essentially we would have more imagery, strong call to action, star rating, potentially an emoji on there as well, and then down into that trust proof, because featured in is just such a key selling point that you want that nice and high the moment we land. So that would be that. Definitely relocate that. Also, this little blue line between sections, you could differentiate the page breaks with slightly different colored sort of page background as well, just to really make it stand out from the crowd. We then go into choose your model. Okay, so essentially related products, that's absolutely fine. Again, you can think about boxing these out. I do like the fact that you've got your star rating here. I think that's very well done. You're showing a price drop here, which is great. Just try and show the saving as well. So that's fine. Get yourself a repeat call to action to make sure you can get people to go further into the store. Obviously, we've got another big image page break here. Again, please check these images because it might be that that's slowing down your page. We then have some look like kind of Instagram feed images. Lovely. Love the fact that you've got a distinct social proof section. I'm just going to see what this page has actually got going on. Okay, so I think you just need to think about some kind of like relocation of kind of things that are going on here. So we've got the sale here, which I get. But then above here, we've got loads and loads of content. And on mobile, I'm sure this looks amazing, by the way, but we've got lots and lots of content. Then we've got the review section. We've got some random images here. This image isn't random. I would go from your hero section. Sorry to keep scrolling up and down, but it's a little bit confusing. And that's what we don't want. So we go in from attention above the fold. Interest is where you need to locate your content. So give us the information about this. Use the content that you've got further down on your page in these nice distinct sections. Make sure you give some repeating calls to action when you've got all that content as well, just so that people don't sort of lose track of where they are at. Then I would go in with that's fine, go in with your kind of related products, but then go into your review section. With this section, make sure you include a nice headline here, like see what our super happy or super relaxed clients are saying, and pop some chevrons on there as well. We just want to make it super kind of obvious as to what people are doing. So get that section with a headline, repeat a call to action here, just to make sure that we are telling people what they need to do. This all needs to go higher. And then we go into your sale itself. So what's interesting is that nowhere have you had any form of trust in the terms of payment icons. Now, typically on the homepage, you wouldn't necessarily have them plastered all over the place. But if you are making a sale from your homepage, then you need to get those payment icons underneath your call to action. Again, try and show some form of savings, show how much they're actually saving here, make it clear whether or not this is in stock or out of stock, and little things like this, little blurbs like this. Just make sure that you break them into nice little bite-sized bullet points for people, so it's super easy to kind of scan, read. Then go into FAQs and down into your Insta. So there's quite a lot of tweaking that could be done with this page. I feel like this page just needs to be reordered slightly to have more of a logical flow. And also the key thing with this page is that you need to sort out the speed issues. Like these are amazing down here. Those need to go underneath that call to action that we saw up at the top. But overall, you've got some amazing content. Obviously, you've got great imagery to go with your content, which is really good. This is another form of social proof. And I love the fact that you've actually got your FAQs on here. Something else you can do whenever you're doing your frequently asked questions section is, again, get more emotive in your headline. Something like, I don't know, got questions, we've got you covered. Something that's more conversational, more engaging than an absolute statement. But love the fact that you've got all the right components on this page. It's just the order in which they are on, which is a little bit kind of confusing to the eye. But I'd really love to know how you guys are getting on in terms of conversion rate as well. And that's the other thing, guys. If you are on this video, please do let us know how you get on once you've kind of implemented some changes. And of course, if you want to see one of yours on one of these videos, they can seem a bit brutal, but honestly, the results are insane. Then make sure you join our Facebook group. Let me just drop this one in here and let's have a look what this is made of. Is this another Shopify? It is, yeah. Full deck today, all Shopify. Do you know, the other good thing about this, guys, about builtwith.com, so if you see one of your, I don't know, competitors or any site and you think, I really like what they've done, how have they done that? Go on to builtwith.com. It's going to tell you, you know, what platform it's built on. It's going to tell you the kind of apps and things that are going on in there. And if you like, you can start to emulate these because you'll know how it kind of works. So it's a really useful tool. In terms of speed, again, that is heavy. Even for Shopify, that is quite heavy. So again, think about talking to your developers and getting this down. Some server-side stuff here. And again, it will always be slightly about compressing images. So let's have a look. First thing to say is my initial impression is this is very, very clean. Looks very, very nice. I think all the pages have been amazing today, but this looks particularly clean. And what's more is it looks like you've got a lot of really good social proof here. And let's have a look. One thing I would say is that the font is incredibly small. Now, you know, it might be that you're totally happy with that. Personally, I find that quite difficult to read, especially over your logo there. You might want to take that up a tiny bit. Again, this would be ideal for a direct response sales page because it would be all about this without any of this kind of like distractions above, but what looks like to be very, very nice imagery. The play video is almost invisible. Try and get that so that it's it looks like a stronger button because it's very, very difficult to see on desktop. Up here, we've got a very nice color selector, all good. Good that you've got the shop pay. That's always quite a good way to increase your conversion rate. Show us the monetary saving. Elongate this. You've got 2,079 reviews, which is amazing. So make sure that you say, like, you know, of 2,079 happy customers or happy wallet owners or however you want to word it. But again, give us some slightly more emotive terms. I like the fact that you're using Amazon Gold and you're doing the whole pay with Amazon. I would recommend you change this one so that you have a stronger color here as well. I know you're trying to push people here, but this is almost invisible. And this is odd. I don't know why you've done more payment options. Ideally, get those icons on the page here. Don't make me click away to figure out whether or not I can actually purchase this. You want to make sure it's super evident here off the get-go. Your content, the hybrid wallet is our best seller, simply the best. Pull strap for fast access. Yeah, nice. So your little description is ever so pleasant. These icons are almost impossible to see. I don't know what it actually says underneath them either. So if they are important to you, then you are going to want to make those larger and more visible. Wherever possible with content, guys, like I know product pages are product pages and it depends on your kind of your particular theme or your abilities, but wherever possible, if you can get content from left to right, then make sure you are getting your content out onto the page with your imagery. Like your sticky CTA, we go down into some really nice kind of GIFs. And then we go into a you may also like. Okay. So something I've not seen and something which would work really well on pretty much all of these pages that we've seen today actually is a process step. Now, for this particular wallet, you could actually do one that shows the process of the wallet working. Or what's more typical and what we know actually works is around here is you add in a process step. So number one, it's how they order. Number two, it's when they'll get it. And number three, it's how they'll benefit. Obviously, they've got this wallet and you have a lifetime replacement guarantee, which is clearly a key selling point on this particular product. So number one, shipping, buy your product. Number two, we'll get into in such and such. Number three, you'll benefit from. Now, despite the fact that you've got a sticky CTA, stand by what I said. First and foremost, the color of it does not stand out at all. Guys, please change the color of this, make it a much stronger color. The Amazon Gold is great. The green converts really well still as well. Your imagery is very, very good. Again, have a look at all this because your load speed was quite high. So do make sure you have a look at this. And then we go into related products, which is fine. Make sure that you get the any star rating associated with these particular products. Also, make sure there's a very clear call to action for us and show the review rating and the price savings wherever you have a particular price saving. So you want to make it all super, super evident. Your desire section is so nice to see. Again, really authentic images. Obviously, there's a lot of apps which display in many various ways, but always make sure you have a headline. So differentiate between your sections. Don't let things just roll into the other. Give us a nice headline to go before your review section. And then when we get to the bottom, okay, so yours is another one. Get your FAQs out onto the page itself. Like we said, it's always going to be the same kind of things within e-commerce. So make sure you're addressing those barriers and then end on that nice repeat call to action. So absolutely beautiful. I think all the pages today have been really great, but there are things that you can take away from this, hopefully implement, and then you will see that uplift. Now, guys, if you didn't see your page here today, I'll be doing more first and foremost, but also it doesn't kind of matter in many ways. So if you can pull out one thing that I've said today, like for example, here on this one, we don't have any scarcity, which we did have on the cat toy. And it was that lovely little in stock icon. So you can go away and take away just a couple of these points and implement them to your stores. And hopefully you will get to see that uplift too. So guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Don't forget to join our Facebook group. If you'd like to see your video, make sure you go on over and drop your link in there. And please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Have a great day and see you on the next video, guys.